Iran is now signaling to the world that it is fully prepared to embrace sacrifice if conflict erupts once again. Tehran's warning message toward America is growing louder and more aggressive as tensions continue spiraling across the region. In one of its harshest warnings yet, Tehran is now openly declaring, "We are ready for whatever comes next." The streets of Tehran thundered with nearly 1,000 motorcycles as Iran visibly prepared itself for the possibility of renewed conflict. From bikers to mass weddings to missile displays, Iran is now sending a fierce message directly aimed at American forces in the region. As hopes for a diplomatic breakthrough with the United States continue fading, Iran is now preparing itself for a possible second phase of war. Across Iran, large groups of motorcyclists have flooded the streets in what appears to be a powerful display of national solidarity. At least 1,000 bikers reportedly rode through the streets of Tehran in a bold show of defiance toward the United States. The Iranian riders reportedly pledged that they were prepared to sacrifice their lives to defend the conflict-hit nation if necessary. "We are ready to sacrifice our lives," the motorcyclists reportedly shouted during the massive rally across the Iranian capital. The dramatic bike parade came shortly after Iran staged a bizarre mass wedding spectacle that was widely viewed as a message to Donald Trump. Iranian authorities on May 18 held a mass public wedding event in the capital, Tehran, amid heightened wartime tensions. The ceremony brought together 110 couples in Tehran's Imam Hossein Square in a highly symbolic public gathering. Reports said the couples had signed up for a state-backed scheme linked to wartime mobilization and resistance efforts. They were described as declaring their readiness to sacrifice their lives for Iran if required, according to the reports.
"No matter what happens, we stand behind our country. And I send this clear message: America and Israel will achieve nothing with all the sedition they are sowing against our nation.
We want to tell the world that the Iranian people fear no threat or conspiracy. They stand with Islam and the Iranian Revolution. This crowd you see before you is 1,000 people who have come to strike the enemy with a hard blow."
The unity between the Iranian people and any kind of doubt about execution and unity cannot be inflicted upon this nation by the enemies of Islam, and this shows that it is one of the smallest signs of the unity of the Iranian nation.
The couples were said to be part of the so-called self-sacrifice scheme, known in Persian as Janfada. Under that concept, participants are portrayed as willing to put their lives on the line, including by forming human chains around sensitive energy sites. Reports also claimed that millions of people, including Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf and President Masoud Pezeshkian, have signed up for the same initiative. Meanwhile, Iran's Supreme Leader Mojtaba Khamenei is reportedly keeping the country's military arsenal fully prepared for renewed conflict. Fresh diplomatic efforts continued as tensions stayed high between the United States, Israel, and Iran. An Iranian source told RIA Novosti that Tehran still possesses advanced weapons that have not yet been used. Iran warned those weapons are ready for deployment if the conflict escalates once again. President Donald Trump said Washington remains prepared for further military action if negotiations collapse. Trump, however, said he was willing to wait a few days to give diplomacy another chance. The latest negotiations focused on ending hostilities and preventing a broader regional conflict. Talks also continued over Iran's nuclear program, sanctions relief, and wider regional security guarantees. Major disagreements still remain over uranium enrichment and the future of Iran's nuclear capabilities. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu insisted Iran's uranium enrichment capabilities must be dismantled before any final agreement. Netanyahu warned the conflict cannot truly end while Tehran continues retaining nuclear infrastructure. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump claimed Netanyahu would do whatever I want him to do regarding Iran.
What have you said to Prime Minister Netanyahu about Iran and how long to hold off on strike?
He's fine. He'll do whatever I want him to do. He's a very good man. He'll do whatever I want him to do, and he's a great guy. To me, he's a great guy. Don't forget, he was a wartime prime minister, and he's not treated right in Israel, in my opinion. I'm right now at 99% in Israel. I could run for prime minister, so maybe after I do this, I'll go to Israel, run for prime minister. I had a poll this morning. I'm 99%, so that's good. But no, he's a wartime prime minister, and I just don't think they treat him well. I think they have a president over there that treats him very poorly.
Meanwhile, Iran tightened monitoring systems and expanded control measures across the strategic Strait of Hormuz. Reports also claim that Iran deliberately refrained from using its full missile arsenal during the first phase of the war. Iran is reportedly keeping a vast missile arsenal on standby for potential strikes against Israel if hostilities erupt once again. An Iranian security expert told the New York Times that Tehran could launch tens or even hundreds of missiles every single day. According to Ahmadreza Azizi, the missile barrages could target either Israel directly or key American allies across the Gulf region. The expert also warned that Gulf oil fields, refineries, and major ports may come under attack if the conflict resumes. Azizi claimed Tehran's broader objective would be to trigger global economic shockwaves and intensify pressure on Donald Trump. In addition, Iran may reportedly attempt to expand the conflict by targeting the strategically critical Bab al-Mandeb Strait. The Bab al-Mandeb waterway connects the Red Sea with the Gulf of Aden and handles nearly 1/10 of global trade flows. Ahmadreza Azizi further claimed that Tehran could try forcing the United States into fighting simultaneously across two maritime fronts. Iran is also reportedly preparing itself for what officials describe as short but high-intensity strikes on its energy infrastructure. Reports claim Tehran used only a limited portion of its missile arsenal during the first phase of fighting with Israel and the US. According to the report, Iran deliberately rationed its missile usage because it anticipated another round of conflict could eventually erupt. The latest revelation surfaced shortly after Donald Trump stated that he was temporarily holding back from striking Iran again. On May 19th, Trump reiterated that several Gulf allies had personally urged him to avoid launching any new military attacks for now.